How is everybody doing? Let me know if you're watching this live or if you're replaying it. But I wanted to do this video for a while now, talking about past, present, future. And when I break it down to you, you'll probably realize why you have regret, why you have anxiety, etc. So let's first talk about the past. Anybody that spends most of their time living in the past is living with regret, what ifs, why didn't I do this? I could have done this different. I could have married that person differently. I could have blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of just sitting around stressing about stuff that's already done and it's past, it's over with. There's nothing else to talk about it. But, people want to, make excuses for their life why if they would have just done and they love to live in the past. And that's where regret comes from, pain, when you're constantly thinking about what already have happened and won't let it go. Now let's talk about the next one. We talk about the future. People that live in the future, and you know who you are, constantly have anxiety, constantly wondering what's tomorrow going to bring, constantly worry about, what's going to happen in a week, what's going to happen from a year, where's my life going to be, constantly stressing about what they don't have and what they could have got and what they want more of, right? So they're constantly living in anxiety. And a lot of times when someone doesn't believe they have a future, they're living in consistent anxiety because they don't see any hope. They don't see any possibility of any change, right? So if you think about this, one of my favorite quotes is the vision of a great vision of the future brings power to the present. Unfortunately, most people don't have a future. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know where their life's going to end up. They kind of just give up, is why I once posted, and I think a lot of people didn't get it. We die at 21 waiting to be buried at 65, which pretty much means that most people had goals when they were younger. They had dreams when they were younger. They had ideas of what they wanted their life to become. And then at some point, they don't believe it anymore. So now they just constantly stressing about it, right? And at the end of the day, you control your future. No one else does. You control what's going to happen tomorrow, right? You can control what's going to happen tomorrow, but you cannot control what already has happened. That's why you can't live in the past, because then you're constantly living in regret. And that's not a good thing to feel. Now, the most important thing is that you should be doing is living in the present, right? Because there's peace in the present, at the moment now, what you do today, what you're doing today, what you're doing right now, the conversation you're having right now. That is the most important thing in the world. But unfortunately, you got those people that wait for their turn to talk, and because their minds are constantly in the future or their minds constantly in the past, right? And this is why people get addicted to drugs, is why people like to binge watch movies, is why people like to eat or whatever they do, whatever their vice is, because it gives them an opportunity to live in the present, right? When you're binge watching a television show, you're not thinking about the past, you're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about right now. When you're out partying and drinking, right, you're thinking about that moment, living in that time, right? It's why most people live for the weekends. They work Monday through Friday, hate their lives, and then Saturday and Sundays when they let it all out, because the weekend is where they live in the moment. But can't you just live in the moment every single day? Why would you live in the moment only when you're on drugs or alcohol or binge watching a television show or whatnot? I think you all get what I'm trying to say. So to break it down, moral of the story is this: people that live in the past are constantly living in regret, not a good emotion. People that live in the future are constantly living in anxiety, right? Constantly living in anxiety. That's also not a good feeling. And the only way you're ever going to be peaceful is if you live in the moment. You're only worried about what you're going to do today. You're only worried about the conversations you're going to have today. You're only worried about the things that you're going to change and do today. So I hope you guys learned from this video. Hope you liked it. Talk to y'all later.